All right, guys, today is another update. I'm getting close to being done with these. I got a few more update videos to go through. But I want to talk about how Section 3 is progressing and how I think the rest of the plot's going to shape up in the future. Now, I will say this, at the beginning, I had a hard time getting the plot going, and it wasn't because of bad ground. It was actually because the rain shut off. What did come up looked great. Groundhog showed up, destroyed it. Had to go back and replant everything down here again. Groundhogs were still continuing to try to hit at this as much as they could. I managed to kill 8 groundhogs, and then the browsing stopped. So the groundhogs got put away, but a lot of the damage had already been done. And then the soybean finally got some good rains and it started taking off. And this is the end result. And it looks really, really good. Now this is behind my normal pace because I've lost, I would estimate 4 weeks of good soybean growth. Maybe 5 at the most, but 4 weeks. So 4 weeks is a big difference to me. And just to give you an idea, I don't have a video posted on my YouTube channel, but last year I had soybean by September 7th that was 6 feet tall or higher. And this, the way it's growing right now, it is on a mission from the looks of it to make it to that height. So there's a lot of good. There's also one bad pest that's in here. It is driving me bonkers, and I will show that to you here in just a second. But I have beaten another record, and that is I have multiple plants now showing their largest leaf sizes per average plant. The soybean has broken a record for the average size leaf I'm finding in here. There is plenty of leaves far bigger than this. And now I've also got soybean in flower mode that is just beginning. And there is another tip I'm going to give out in another video. I'll probably shoot it right after this one on how to increase my soybean production. Even though my ground's healthy, there's still another way to add even more to my soybean. So hopefully you'll enjoy that video. It's actually pretty simple. It's not too hard to do. Okra is looking really good. That's a little over 4 feet tall now. Still growing like crazy. Nice big leaves, looks fantastic. At least I got a small walking path here because this is going to become a real challenge to sow my fall blend this year. You can see how big around the sunn hemp is getting. Still got plenty of time to grow. Most likely this sunn hemp is going to be, I would say, 10 to 11 feet. The tallest I've ever had it is 12. Now, let's see here. I'm trying to work my way up here to the back side. I'm going to show you the pest problem I've got that drives me absolutely bonkers. All right, here is what was my screen wall. That's why this looks so ratty. I have been in here destroying a lot of morning coffee in here. It hasn't really gotten a foothold in here yet, but I started finding patches of it beginning to grow. So I came in here and killed a lot of the screen wall off just to keep the morning coffee at bay. I'm willing to sacrifice it for now. All right, over here, we're coming up to the problem. If things of note here, I've mentioned this before in my other group, but there's obviously The sun hemp is helping my soybean here. This soybean here is taller than the surrounding soybean over here. Then it gets taller again. Sun hemp is pumping nitrogen in there to help me out. Although, from the looks of these leaves, I really don't need too much more. They're pretty darn green right now. So we're going to head over here, see what my problem is. I got ladybugs everywhere in here. That's fine by me. They're predatory insects. All right, see my problem. I originally thought deer was in here and seriously browsing out some major soybean holes in here. And then I started looking at it more and more. Well, we have a new problem. A lot of the soybean here is missing. This is all blank space that used to have soybean in it. That is my problem. A 9th groundhog has entered the scene, and now he is seriously on my #1 hit list. And I plan to set out here this weekend and take care of him. My work schedule is really not helping me with this, but I'll do what I can when I have the time. And I'm a very patient person, and that groundhog is going to find that out. But I still love what I'm seeing here. Now, for those of you that's seen my video of Mr. Clean at 3.5 years old, this ground is in far better shape than when that deer was born and eating here. And Mr. Clean's a big buck. He is showing all kinds of promise that he could be a booner this year, if not the following year. But if he shows up in my sights, I ain't waiting another year on him. I don't have that afforded luxury when you work on small tracts of land. But now, since I've got this type of growth occurring and this much health in my food plot, imagine how much better my future generation is going to look. So I'm actually really ramping up the nutrients in the soil, which is going to pay off for my future generations. This soybean is on a growing mission. As a matter of fact, a lot of the okra that's over here is really struggling to keep up now. Soybean has caught it. And over here, soybean is catching this okra. There used to be almost a foot of height difference between the okra and the soybean over here. And now it's down to about 4 or 5, maybe 6 inches at the most. So it's just a matter of time, unless this groundhog keeps screwing things up, because he's pulling all this down back here and browsing this off. That is actually not deer browse. That is groundhog damage that is spreading throughout the soybean now. That is why these guys have to be stopped. And this is just one groundhog doing it. It ain't 2 or 3. It's one groundhog that's causing the problem. Up there, small look. Experimental section up there is growing strong finally. It was also set back by drought, groundhogs, and heavy deer browse. Matter of fact, the browse up there is much higher, and I think that experimental strip that I've added may have a little bit to do with that. But it's kept a lot of the pressure on the upper end of the plot this year. But by golly, I like what I'm seeing here. A lot of these leaves look fantastic. I've got some monster leaves, and these are good sized leaves, but I got other leaves that are plenty bigger than this. I have so much food in here now. The deer obviously can't keep up with it. And from what I can tell, the deer have stopped coming down here. It is becoming too much of a hassle for them to walk through here when they have better ease of access food toward the top. And that's probably where they're going to stay. And I'll probably get some intermittent browse on this lower end. That's where they keep browsing back there. And that'll be about it. The rest of this is becoming free growing soybean, other than what this stupid groundhog's doing. But he will be going bye-bye very soon. All right, guys, I just hope that this encourages you. If you have bad soil and are willing to work hard at it, you can achieve much better success as long as you keep maintaining your willpower to do this. I'll go ahead and tell you, in the past, there was times I was ready to give it up because I knew this ground just wasn't going to help me. So I forced the ground to work for me, and I changed a lot of my tactics. Years before I started the Facebook group, this ground was really a struggle. I managed to make headway for about 3 years. We were going to lose the farm, or at least we thought we were going to lose the farm. So I quit working the ground for 3 years, trying to secretly save up and hopefully get a shot at it, which we shouldn't have to pay for inheritance, but that's what happens when greed kicks in. I'm just going to leave it at that. So the ground, during those 3 years, this was hayfield again, and the ground got raped, basically. 3 cuttings a year, 2 cuttings a year. The nutrients I had built up in here got exhausted, and it was done. So when I started the Facebook group, I was already in year 1 of restoring the ground. Basically, it was horrible. My food plot was laughable. I mean, it was just downright nasty. And I could only dream of actually ever growing something that even looks close to this. So I hope this motivates you. And soon you'll start seeing processes on my soil improvements. And we'll see how this goes from here. But you all have a great day, and I hope your plots are doing well.